I don't even know why I did that. I get a lot of rips here and there. Alright, speaking of, I gotta put my headset in, because I don't want the audio from this to interfere with, like, the audio from the speakers interfere with this. Alright. Just to make the audio a little bit better. I don't give a shit about the audio, I just want to not have to listen to you. I don't know. There's some people out there that are like that, and I accept them for who they are. That's okay. I love you too. In any case, we are going to play Critical Thinking with 16th or 17th century. What the hell is this game? Alright. It has been an awful long while. Also, I was thinking about getting like a monitor stand for my setup, but I'm a little too flat broke to get any sort of upgrades whatsoever. Oh, God. Alright, where were we last time? Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. We were doing a case over a victim called Sham Spear. The Altamont Gas Company's investigation. Oh, God, I can't remember the voices that I did for these people. So you know what? If I did any voice before, whatever, move on. I'm proud to be the company's East Branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept through penny bits. Each coin gives customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. Yes. And yet, the meter on the Shakespeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow he's used all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. And that's not even. If that's not even, then what is?
Into the fire, perhaps. Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. What do you mean by that remarkable offense? Did that mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court, and yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Into the fire! Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance.
But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead.
Nope.
Ooh, I fling. Shit it again.
Do what you will. I have more bottles in store.
Garnetzx appears to be in a violent mood. He's not only poured a glass of wine, but he threw the bottle into the gallery.
Oh God, why do I give Susato a Greta Thunberg impression?
How dare you throw that bottle into the public gallery?
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step to uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. Huh. Sham Spear. Is his name truly his function, the sham that he is? No, they couldn't say anything related to Shakespeare. More Shakespeare! I'm proud to be the company's East End Branch investigator. I'm agent. Hold it! Okay, I don't know who said what that might. I don't know where to go with this, but I'm just gonna press everything. So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask for permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shakespeare? Oh, well, interesting you should bring that up. Because I wouldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the hell of them survive the winter night is beyond me. It really is.
Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all of his gas money on books.
And then that's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. Probably because the books last longer.
You calling your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman?
Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Ultimate gas meters, except through penny bets. Each coin given customers about 2 hours ago. Just, yeah. Hold it! Why do I picture him as a bee persona? I don't know, because the head wife has a bee persona. So all London houses have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
Yeah, the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property. Yes.
So if the 3 pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people will use 3 coins in a night. A bit more than that usually if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Think about it, Shiseki's doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he?
Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and they only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
How does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meter of coins.
I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter costs the company an awful lot of money. But happily, I need to put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part.
Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean?
Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter in the Shamspier's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Hold it! I don't know what to object. I don't know what to object. Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. Been pinching off gas for us for ages.
And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it?
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume?
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter be produced. One with an industrial lock. The Shamspire Special.
That sounded like it would have cost an awful lot of 3 penny pieces.
But even after that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget that humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found a bear. You what? I said. You what? The look on their face, a smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of being jimmied up in anyone. Not a single line. I strangle myself. I have a choking fetish. Actually, no, I don't. I don't know why I do this. What's happening in my salary was down by 3 shillings a day, that's why. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of the meter? Nothing became of it. I've still got it. Oh? Right here. No wonder they call you Meter Man.
I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while trial is ongoing.
A meter that dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted it supports a very strong lock, developed especially with Mr. Shamspire in mind. Definitely, although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it.
Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say, as much value as the contents of the meter.
Okay, something tells me I gotta look at that meter. I don't know why, but I gotta figure out something. But what? Meter has not been tampered with. Oh. The meter has in fact been tampered with. Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Nadahodo?
Just here, there's a little hole. You see it?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, isn't it? Not professionally made, I say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspire?
Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. How could they miss that? How?
Certainly seems to go all the way through the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin would fit through there.
It's true, so it seems more than a little suspicious.
The meter dispenses gas for a very strong lock, and there's a tiny hole at its base. I don't know, will that small hole be what we need? Oh no. How good is a lock if there's a small hole at the bottom? Very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax too.
So Mr. Sholmes were to get in any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruto, mischief is of that kind is not a sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would.
You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
It does be a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Okay, so the tiny hole is the only thing I got to go on. Other than that, I don't know what else. Okay, doesn't appear to be tampered with. There is, in fact, a hole at the bottom of its base, so OBJECTION! Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What?
Ah, get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, wouldn't you mind say of the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? A hole? What?
You're right! You're quite right. There is a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do.
In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shansphere secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you give the court some more details about your meter design.
What sorts of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coin, how it's dismantled. If it's something to do with the coins. Okay. Okay, let's stop and think about this for a second. I know it could be either or, I could be screwed up, so if we take a look at the testimony, we're not dealing with coins. So the coin could not fit through there. Roblos, no. How it's dismantled. So we're not talking about coins because coins are off the table. How it's dismantled. How can the meter be dismantled?
Dismantled?
Yes, given that there are no signs of having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps, rather than being broken open, it would have been taken apart.
Well, yes, that does make some sense. Padlocks are made with first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself was made for the plate steel as well. Well, it's shut to ensure that it can't be opened again. I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it.
Wahoo! Yeah, nothing leaks from the Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see.
The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it's pertinent.
As you wish, my lord. All joints on the meter are welded shut and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it.
Okay. Hold it! Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they tried, but they've all given up before long.
After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action.
Yes, that makes sense.
What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Is a welded steel in construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about how the meter differentiates coins, for example. 12 deeper. How does a meter tell the difference between different coins?
What do you mean?
Well, for example, if someone were to put a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it?
No, of course not.
So, well, how does the meter know that the coin's been fed through penny bit?
Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A 3-penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in the diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit.
I see. It's clearly been well thought out.
The witness will amend its full testimony without information in the case is prominent.
As you wish, my lord.
Okay,
Mirror is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a 3-penny bit. Nothing else will fit it.
I feel like I could say something in that statement because of the last sentence. Nothing else will fit it. But I need to find an example. What else could fit through that? That's the real question. I was found Mr. Shannon, the rest of the envelope would not be located. Could that work? Objection! No, that will not work. No, I don't think it could stick an envelope into the coin machine and then make that work automatically. I frigged up. Okay, nothing else will fit it. Is there any way to prove that wrong? Exact diameter and thickness of 3-penny bit.
Oh, look at this bar of soap. Circular depression on the side, about 2 centimeters across. All through 1/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think?
Alright, we did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes. Well, there are 2 bars on that little ledge just outside that window, so we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of rubbish medallion in the middle there, so I remember it correctly.
Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? 2 centimeter diameter circular depression in the middle of one surf. Exact diameter and thickness. So we're actually looking at this. Yeah, for some odd reason I was thinking this would work. Maybe this? Yes, it worked. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a 3-penny bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating Mr. Shakespeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly.
Something the same size as a 3-penny bit? What was it?
The item in question is this! A bar of soap. What? What are you mean in English? It's a bar of soap.
It certainly looks nothing like a 3-penny bit, I must say.
Looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's important about this soap is this part here. This part. There's a funny little round depression in the middle of the soap.
Grow up! Grow up, Eddie.
Grow up, Kenny. What?
Professor Khan, I would say almost 3/4 of an inch in diameter.
I like something else been talking about recently.
Well, that's what we need to show the court.
Here! You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Hell.
Ah! Are you referring to the round depression in the middle of the soap here?
That's right. A depression that approximately 3/4 of an inch in the diameter. Huh. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a 3-penny bit. Get away!
Does anyone here present have in the possession of 3-penny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounded rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have your 3-penny bit. Now to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug.
Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Ultimate Gas Company is being defrauded.
Well, I don't believe it.
So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas?
Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a 3-penny bit.
You most concur at least that pushing and coin with some force in a poor quality bar, such as this, is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin shape.
And then you would use, well, some melted wax or something to pull in the mold. It can make fake coins in no time. So I found a way to get after Shamspear. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. The method of Shamspear has been used to steal the gas. That's a missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. Not even me, because I
Don't even know. But this is all nonsense. If a man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause a fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes?
exactly. And the meter here gives it away.
What on earth?
There are remnants of magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. Where is it? 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 I don't know where it's possibly... Oh, is it the green stuff? Okay, I think it's a lock. I'm starting to think it's a lock. If not, why else would that be there?
If that's your solution, Council, the defense will identify the remnants at corner once. Where on the meter can the remnants be used to make a fake coins disappear scene?
Where on the meter can the remnants of the method be used to make the fake coins disappear as seen? The hole itself? That's what I'm thinking of. If not, then...
Got it!
The hole would be used to leak it out. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside. Where you yourself, Mr. Beeman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ah, I get it. Oh my god. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice.
Did you say ice?
Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. He's freezing water.
Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them to the gas meter, giving them light and warmth with his face. As this room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter complex melts,
Turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas.
Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling around with some bars of soap and then some water?
That's right, madame.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent on developing a new meter? Now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless.
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence!
Sorry.
I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof.
Very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Aw, Susato's all teary-eyed. And so am I if I don't figure out how to solve this.
Ugh.
Okay. How do I figure it out? Okay, how do I figure it out? That is rubbish. The photograph! There's a wet stain there. There. The photograph is the only thing I know. Otherwise, there might be another option. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it.
What?
Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory?
I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. It's the water, isn't it? And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. This piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shakespeare has been stealing gas is the photo itself. Here! I didn't actually know about the photo. I just looked through things and I'm like, okay, wait, where? Ah! Because there's water underneath it. This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shakespeare.
What remnants?
That's water. Here you can see the gas meter on the wall of Mr. Shakespeare's room. Now, look closely at the floorboard directly underneath the meter.
What is that? Some kind of grubby stain?
Well, certainly, it's a water stain, resulting from the liquid that's been drained out of the hole to meet in the meter.
Ah!
If one coin gives us around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating this room in the waking hours, you can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence, too. Mr. Shakespeare slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. So he poisoned himself to avoid any accountability for his crimes? In case anybody ever found out?
You're right.
So in other words, this was a fake poisoning. He knew that people were onto him, so he made it look like he was eating soap, just to cover up the act of stealing gas.
It would appear to be that then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, wasn't he? Oh, pardon me for disagreeing with you, Lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat the bush about the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shakespeare was found with a fork in his hand.
The meal of soap is certainly increasingly like...
You mean to say he was using that fork too? Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap.
Oh. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious!
Oh man.
And I fling it again. Oh well.
You just got a second bottle!
Oh well.
Lord Van Zeeks.
I was throwing my hand up in despair, including my bottle, who also went in despair. You should feel sorry for my one bottle. And happen to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. I don't know what I'm talking about. What's the meaning of this, Counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination?
Well,
And Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable.
that's it. That's exactly it.
Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make?
It shows that he used this lie to cover up another crime. Well,
We know that the suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except for the accused. The young man's gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is a liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication.
You... What?!
Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Mr. Naruhodo.
What was the point of the last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Garnetzx is saying? Reason objection. No! This isn't over. The defense will not rest.
What? But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous methods employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Garnetzx is highlighting 3 facts in order to make his point. Contrary to what we would have believed, not all of them have been objectively established.
What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend?
Bots, bro, bots! Yes, bots. At least one of these so-called facts is an assumption, made due to the lack of evidence. Okay, I gotta choose one of the 3. Even he knows. Okay, I gotta choose one of 3. If I screw up, I gotta choose the other 2. Yes, there are a lot of bots. Which one it is? But the situation has changed now. Following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand.
Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Oh.
Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely, was someone else responsible? No. Was there another visitor? Was the poison in the tea? Do we really know if anatomy? Was there poison in the tea? Yes. That is correct. Was there another visitor? Yes. That is also correct. Was someone else responsible for putting the poison in the tea? That is not correct. What if it was somebody else entirely who poisoned the victim?
If that's your assertion, by all means, tell us who it was.
Ah, yes. Well...
Well, what was this mysterious to the body, counsel?
I think it's a little too soon to be naming names, my lord.
On the contrary, it's a little too late. Much like your defense.
Gah! Okay, so... We've shown so much, the situation has changed. So that was actually the wrong answer. The Shampir is trying to make more ice coins on the night in question. I really feel like that's a clue here, that it's pointing us towards something else. Okay, free try. There's a question that we now need to consider. Namely, we've gone through this. Was there another visitor? No. Was the poison in the tea? Yes, in one of them, so I'll go with this one. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume. But that's conjecture of it.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there was no trace of his tea left at the scene, I couldn't be tested for traces of poison.
There are traces. As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detective investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well. Counsel, please present your proof.
teacups themselves. The only idea I have, because one of them has traces. The other does not. Alright. One has a trace and the other does not. So, this!
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal?
Well, I suspect it may, possibly, be related to the tea in some way if we dig deep enough.
And you'll be digging for a very long time indeed, my learned friend.
Did I frig up? I frigged up. So it's not the teacups? Don't go with the first thing that you see. Of course, it's not going to be the first thing that you see. It's not that. Ripped piece of envelope that was found in a trash beer cannot be located. This?
Take that!
Nope. Nope. I frigged up again. I frigged again. Okay, it's not the envelope. It's not the teacups. Trace of poison. It's a medical report. Where could the trace of poison be? Poison as well as gleaned during investigations. Okay. Where's the trace of poison? The bar of soap?
Take that!
I'm guessing here. Okay, that worked. I don't know why the bar of soap worked. Wait. Why would the bar of soap work? Because he was taking traces of the tea he poured in that soap? Huh.
Good gracious! The soap! Again! The same bomb victim used to fashion his coins of ice!
Yes, that's right, my lord. It just came back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's
The small bars of soap.
soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window? So the bars of soap had the frozen coins, which had the trace of poison in it. I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar.
So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating.
In a way, yes. But there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
Oh, there was something else strange about them, you mean?
Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red.
The ice was red. No. You mean...
That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea.
Ugh.
What?
What?
I would remind the court of the statement made by Mr. Nesby early in the trial. Yo! Hi!
Good evening, yes. I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shampsby's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this tea is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! Oh yes, I believe it has been snowfall that day. Particularly cold. Sadly, on such an occasion, the poorly constructed water mains in the east end are prone to freezing.
So on the night in question, Mr. Shampspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought in by Mr. Nesby in order to make his fake coins. The yellow guy looks like Wario, but he got destroyed from World War I. Well, technically, this game takes place in, like, the 19th century. 1880, like, late 19th century, so it would have been a little too early for World War I.
My word!
There were 2 bars of soap in the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene.
That's right, and we only boiled one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside of Mr. Shampspeare's window.
Ah, okay.
Also, how are you, Michelle Williams? I appreciate you showing up.
Extraordinary!
Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that even if one drop of the tea remains, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in position to prove or disprove what has been up until now mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all.
Ugh, you smug Nipponese.
Oh god. My lord, we cannot do the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. At the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Also, thank you very much, Michelle, for showing up. I really appreciate it.
Bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once! Yes, my lord. Understood.
I gotta get something to eat after this.
You would see we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zinks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim.
Yes, my lord. Face slap. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow.
Thank you, Consuls. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh, oh, gosh. Oh, geeshy gosh. Oh, man, part 3. Am I actually gonna do this? Should I take a break right here? Even though it's barely been an hour? Could, just to get something to eat. Cough. Yeah, cough. Also, where did my desk go? Naruhodo Legal Consultancy. Or has it not been established yet? Whew, we made it back in one piece. Just, to be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while.
Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. They were nearly flattened several times.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
Yes, I know. It was marvelous offense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you.
Oh, thank you.
And now your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time. Let's see if we can't find new clues for the call tomorrow.
Yes, let's do that.
Is everything all right?
I suppose I still can't quite believe it. That's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean, in the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. Is that an applause or a fortune cookie? That's a fortune cookie, isn't it? It should be Kazuma. My one and only best friend, BFF. For some odd reason, implying a homosexual relationship. Because for some odd reason, Japanese literature does that. Because why else would Naruhodo get nervous when looking at Van Zinks?
It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to the Great Britain and work alongside him.
Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
And you're doing wonderful, Naruhodo-san. No doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same thing if we were here with us.
Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you.
Kazuma-sama, you graceful bastard, you.
Oh, crap. I really want to take a break. Should I take a break? I don't know. You want me to keep going, Michelle? Yes, no? Why is my desk not here? I don't know. Can I examine anything? No. Should I examine anything? Yes. Why? I don't know. Tanks are for keeping sea creatures. Sea creatures do what? Alright, I gotta check a couple things right here. You know what? I might as well take a break. I'm seeing stuff on Discord I gotta check out. If you don't want to, then leave, lol. I just want to get something to eat. That's all. Like, before I hit the sack. It's almost 9 o'clock. And yes, like 9 o'clock here. Usually I do go for like an hour and a half to like 2 hours. But I ain't your mom. Okay, fine. I'll get going. I'll see you all tomorrow for Discord Disorder. So thank you, Michelle, for joining. I really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow if you want to join in. And in the meantime, I gotta go. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm feeling like shit, and I gotta run. Can.